Hey there YouTube, I'm Yukitsu, this is the Yukitsu Times, welcome to my channel. This is game 3 of set 2 against Sydin in the Rise of the Samurai tournament from the Something Awful forums. Technically I've already won our best of 3, so this one's just sort of an exhibition match. We've done it on Slumbering Settlement rather than on Chigoku River, just because we know that Chigoku River is probably going to come up a few more times at least, and it would be boring if everyone had to watch Chigoku River over and over and over again. As well, since this one's not too serious, I've decided to take a slightly derpy army. Don't do this at home, kids. But I've taken 5 units of bow levy, maybe 6. I can't count right now. 5 units of bow levy, yeah. 7 units of Naginata levy, 2 units of bow firebomb throwers, my Naginata warrior monk hero, and my general. So all levy plus some bomb throwers, basically. My opponent Sydin has taken what I think is his sort of strongest setup here. He's got 3 units of Naginata warrior monks. He's got his 2 foot samurai, his general's bodyguard, 2 Naginata levy, a sword attendant, and Tetsubo warrior monk hero. Now he split his groups off into 3, and I think he wanted to be able to strongly contest all three capture points, and I think that's actually a bit of a mistake. Generally what you want to do is capture one strongly and contest the other. So in this particular case, being able to capture the sword dojo in the center, and then, for example, having units breaking off to go contest the workshop would probably be the strongest idea. That's what I'm doing here, although you'll notice I'm not really focusing in this battle too much, and that's partly because I was drinking a little bit during the other 2 matches, and to celebrate winning them, I drank a lot. So yeah, anyhow, my general sort of run up to the front here by himself. He's going to take some pot shots over at these foot samurai, and then he's going to try and retreat before he takes any return fire, and he'll be able to get off a good number of kills actually on these foot samurai before they can actually get into position. Meanwhile, my own lines are coming up here. I've rushed forward so I can get access to the sword dojo a little bit earlier, but basically all he has to do is run his units at mine and he'll win, because that's how utter trash Levy are. Now, what I want to sort of do here is see if there's an effective way to use the firebomb throwers more than anything. I kind of know a little bit about how to use Levy effectively, but not in high numbers, so that's something that I want to sort of consider as well, but not as much as the firebomb throwers. Now, firebomb throwers do absolutely no damage, basically, for what you would expect of them. They could basically throw it, have it land right at your feet, and it will not do any damage. It basically has to hit the guy in the face before it'll cause a kill. And considering how much they cost, it's 450 for a unit of 20, and how slow the rate of fire is, that's atrocious. Like, these guys need something going on for them, because they're just so bad. But anyhow, as you can see, I've got my archers sort of all spread across, trying to take down whatever they can as they come in. The problem with the bow levy is that their arrows just don't do anything. Their accuracy is poor, the power on the bow itself is poor, so I've got units coming in to block, and they've caused essentially no casualties. Here you can see that sort of complete mismanagement as my firebomb throwers sort of move forward. I want to try and get a couple of shots at these foot samurai, but I didn't manage to. My army's already wavering for the most part, just because he used whistling arrows. I've charged in, and that'll stabilize him a little bit, but he has got his Tetsubo warrior monk heroes here who are going to start chewing straight through my troops. I've dropped Rally, I've dropped Inspire, but that's not going to do anywhere near enough given the disparity of our troop quality. You can see one of these units is already about to shatter. They've only lost like all their men because they die immediately. And over here is what's interesting though, because I want to sort of see how these firebomb throwers perform. Here you can sort of see them. I've got my units one at a time coming in here to try and block these Naginata warrior monks in place to see how these firebomb throwers do. And what I actually find at the end of the battle is that they cause more friendly fire casualties than they did enemy casualties. They kill something like 24 enemies and kill something like 33 allies. So don't take this unit, it's trash. Basically very little point to it. But as you can see, I'm sort of getting ground down by these Naginata warrior monks. Now Naginata warrior monks, you'll notice that I take a lot of them in my games, and that's because they're a very reliable unit. They don't rely on a solid frontal charge like sword attendants do. They are much tougher, obviously, than Naginata Levy, and they've got good general melee stats, unlike Naginata Attendants, who are only good against cavalry. So that means that they're just a good, solid frontline Rise of the Samurai unit, whereas other units are very specialized. That means that they should form the backbone of your army, typically, when you're playing Rise. Still throwing bombs away, still causing casualties to both of us, frankly. I think that was actually probably the best set of bombs, because my guys were all running away anyway. But yeah, it's just not actually all that good. Over here, you can see my general's gone to stand and fight, and these Levy have all sort of broken. It's pretty much what you can expect a Levy. With my general and my heroes unit tied up here, they're not going to last very long, but they do wipe out 2 units of bow samurai just for the hell of it. Bow samurai are very strong in melee, but hero unit and general's bodyguard are going to be a match for them, or more than a match for them. I was trying to move this unit around the back so I could sort of use my superior numbers to flank, but my line broke so quickly that they couldn't do it in time to stop anything. Over here, you can see general shattering, and this is just sort of showing that Levy this just sort of shows the weakness of the Levy. They're very, very ineffective for their cost, in my opinion. It would have been nice to have found out that firebomb throwers can actually get kills if they manage to get those throws in, but they really don't. They just can't do the work that they need to do to justify their cost. I think in this particular case, if I had slightly better general statistics for using the campaign or the avatar system generals, I could have done a little bit better in this particular case, just because my general could have all these goodies that would have expanded his general's radius, he would have expanded the army morale. But since these are vanilla generals, I don't get that luxury. So anyway, this was a good game to decide, and it was a good learning experience. I sort of know the limitations of the Levy units and firebomb throwers a little bit better. I haven't experimented with them much in match made, since they typically feel weak to me. I just want to sort of confirm that. I feel that that's confirmed. I feel that there's probably some way to use a large number of Levy, but as it is, I'm going to stick with only 1 or 2 units of them at a time. They work very well for capturing objectives, they work well for meat shields and screens, but in terms of actual combat ability, I think their utility is very limited. I think if the meta changed a little bit and people were taking a lot of cavalry, they'd become fairly useful, since you could use 2 or 3 units fairly cheaply to screen your entire back. So, for example, if Sydin had 3 of them instead of one of his Naginata warrior monks in game 1, he could have covered his entire back end with those 3 units of Naginata Levy, protect his entire army, his entire back, from my cavalry assault, and would have done a much better job of just keeping the pressure in one direction while feeling safe in the other. I think that's about the limit, but since cavalry is not that prevalent, I don't feel that they're all that useful. Let's just look over our statistics here. My Naginata warrior monks did a lot more work than I really like having them do. 84 kills. My general did a decent number of kills as well. And the Levy did disappointingly pretty much overall, but in a way that I sort of expected. I got 24 kills collectively. I know that this isn't actually from a firebomb throw. I know that one of them actually got that kill in melee. But these guys got 23 firebomb kills, and I suffered a total of 36 friendly fire incidences. And I think most of those were chalked up to the firebomb throwers rather than the bow Levy. Now, looking over at my opponent's army, you can see that his Tetsubo warrior monks, since they were in there, stuck in, they did a very good job, got a lot of kills. His general's bodyguard got a lot of kills. His foot samurai, I'm kind of disappointed in their performance, honestly. I think they should have been able to get a lot more done there. His Naginata warrior monks. This is what happens when you've got Naginata warrior monks against an all-Levy army. They just do absolute monster work. Even his Levy, they were running down fleeing troops. His sword attendants chopped straight through them. And of course his other Levy were also running down a lot of fleeing units. So anyway, I hope these were informative, and I hope to see you all next time.